Thank you very much. Apologies in advance if you hear a few dogs barking. It's dinner time for them, so they're not happy that I'm with you all, but I'm very happy to be with you all. As Bill said, I'm Jennifer. I'm the VP of Industry Strategy and Investments at the Massachusetts Life Sciences Center. My job is really to develop investment strategies that support all life science companies in Massachusetts, but there is a very special place in my heart for startups. You cannot build a leading life science cluster without startups, without an environment that launches, supports, and funds startups. Ask any of our larger company sponsors that Steve mentioned earlier, and they'll tell you that they're here tonight for your innovations, for the risks that you're taking, the mission behind your work, and many of them are here in Massachusetts because of that as well. So here at the Massachusetts Life Sciences Center, we really understand that supporting early stage companies is hugely impactful to the health of our ecosystem. And even in a time like now, where we are experiencing record-breaking venture dollars coming into Massachusetts healthcare companies, $6 to $8 billion, depending on the report that you're reading and the sectors that are included in that report, most people on the screen, I think, appreciate the nuance that the vast majority of that money is going to later stage deals, and seed money, the kind that most everyone on this screen is looking for, is still some of the hardest money to come by. Making supporting early stage companies more important than ever. In fact, we have many programs that provide startups with what they need most: talent, money, advice. So I encourage you to check out our website and review the programs we have to support early stage life science companies in Massachusetts. But we at the MLSC obviously can't support startups on our own. We need strong partners to help, partners that understand the challenges of starting a life science company, getting it funded, hiring talent, building a group of advisors, getting the right advice at the right time, accessing the space and equipment that's so specifically required for life science companies. So we're really fortunate here in Massachusetts to have partners like M2D2 at UMass Lowell and UMass Medical School in Worcester that really understand these things and champion life science startups. We invested in the infrastructure to create M2D2 many years ago now, and we placed our faith in a university to build not only a physical incubator for medtech companies, but a culture and a community where they could thrive. As an investor, not all of your investments work out. That's par for the course. But M2D2 for us is one of the shining examples of where state capital served as some of the first money in and generated significant returns. It's an investment that we love talking about. It's so clear that UMass Lowell and now Worcester are serious about creating ecosystems where life science companies can thrive. And that is not trivial work. It requires the support of many people, including Chancellors Maloney and Collins, Vice Provost Steve Tello, who we heard from, Marianne Picard, Nate Hafer, Vice Chancellor of Research Julie Chen, who happens to be on our board as well, Professor Brian Buchholz, Assistant Professor David McManus. I could go on and on listing the many individuals at both campuses that support M2D2, and that's exactly why it succeeds. In addition to having internal champions, M2D2 differentiates itself by what it offers to companies. It's not just physical space and sophisticated R&D equipment. There's business plan development help. There's help with engineering and prototyping, running clinical trials, accessing many core facilities between the two campuses that advance R&D, guidance on STTR, SBIR grant writing. It's the network that M2D2 is able to introduce their companies to: FDA and regulatory guidance, legal guidance, private sector design, fabrication and testing firms, angels, VCs, accelerators. Being part of M2D2 for a life science company is kind of like hitting the jackpot. Now, that doesn't guarantee success, obviously. Life science technology development is a high-risk activity. So my final comments tonight are really to the teams that make up our finalists. You guys wake up every morning and get to work on advancing your cutting-edge, literally never been done before technologies. You face hurdles and barriers daily that you have to figure out on the fly how you're going to overcome. It can be frustrating and isolating work, but it can also be exhilarating and impactful. And I can't think of a time when that work was more important. Some of you have pivoted or launched in order to address the current public health crisis of COVID-19. And so the work you do matters. It's tough, but it's the only way that biomedical progress is achieved. It's the only way that options for patients expand, or in some cases exist at all. And so we thank you, entrepreneurs and founders, for the work that you do, the contributions you make to our ecosystem, to our partners and our sponsors tonight, and to patients. We hope that events and nights like tonight demonstrate to you that Massachusetts knows the work you do is challenging, but we are here to support you. And as Steve mentioned, I'll be joining you all a little bit later to specifically support one of you with a $50,000 cash prize. So thank you everyone to being here tonight. Good luck to the finalists. And at this point, I'll turn it back to Bill so we can get on to those coveted awards.